porque hay gente que... A ver, espera un segundo, Laura.
Si quieres, dejo de compartir.
No, no. Vale, espera. Ahora. Vale, sí, pues ya estás. Ya estamos, Laura. Bueno,
Vale.
nada, bueno, voy a presentarme yo un poquillo, lo digo por si hay alguien como que es la primera vez que está aquí con Celeo. Nosotros llevamos como 25 años, echábamos cuentas el otro día, de preparación de oposiciones, tanto de primaria como de secundaria. Con Laura yo creo que son, ¿cuántos años ya, Laura? Un montón.
Ya, porque como vamos con ambos cuerpos,
Con
ya,
ambos
ya va
cuerpos,
sumando.
ya va sumando y bueno,
Pero
muchos de los...
desde el 15, o sea,
Sí,
desde el
pues
2015
10,
mínimo.
11 o 12 años, sí. Preparando tanto cuerpo de maestros como cuerpo de secundaria. Y entonces, bueno, nosotros ahora lo que vamos a hacer es una sesión informativa sobre la preparación del 2027, ¿vale? De las oposiciones de Castilla-La Mancha y de Madrid del 2027. Queda por definir un poquillo, pero bueno, lo que sí que sabemos a día de hoy es que no hay cambios. Maestros ha sido como ha sido siempre, por lo tanto, lo que es el decreto de acceso sigue siendo el mismo. Y vamos a empezar a plantear un poco la preparación con esas partes, ¿vale? Que es un poco lo que va a explicar ahora Laura. Lo que sí que quiero decir es que, bueno, nuestra intención sería empezar en septiembre porque es un año como largo. Daremos 3 sesiones semanales de 3 horas los viernes por la tarde a las 5, de 5 a 8. Y la idea es que haya 3 sesiones un mes y luego 2 sesiones y un simulacro el siguiente y así, ¿vale? Y vamos alternando esa frecuencia. Eh, Sería empezar, como hemos dicho, en septiembre y eso incluye pues la preparación de todo. Ahora que explique un poco Laura cómo quiere abordar un poco las partes. Yo ahora mismo poco más que decir. Yo creo que Laura para mí siempre ha sido una de las mejores preparadoras que hay de inglés. Me ha parecido una tía muy brillante, una preparadora como muy constante y sobre todo siempre la punta de lanza no solamente en el tema de metodologías y pedagogía, sino también pues, que está pasando por Europa, que está pasando en otros centros, que está pasando en la universidad, ¿no? Entonces, bueno, siempre está ahí en la punta de lanza y por lo tanto me parece una preparadora ideal para estar ahí a la última, ¿no? Aparte luego de las circunstancias personales de cada uno y de los tiempos, ¿no? De cada uno. Pero vamos, en cuanto a la preparación, yo la verdad es que siempre estoy muy contento con Laura. Dejo que ella explique un poco cuál es su planteamiento para septiembre y luego si tenéis alguna cuestión o lo que sea, ya cierro yo, si queréis, un poco la sesión, ¿vale? Laura, cuando quieras.
Vale, gracias, Simón. Bueno, pues comenzamos la sesión informativa, aunque ya aquí veo caras conocidas y, bueno, pues es algo muy positivo porque siempre alegra ver al otro lado a compañeras. Entonces, bueno, pues voy a ir viendo con vosotras las partes, ¿no? de las que consta el proceso en sí. Voy a pasar al inglés también porque quizás hasta me encuentre más cómoda. Okay, so after welcoming you all, we are going to start having an overview of the roadmap, okay, through the competitive exam, the different stages, the different parts, okay, which we are going to cover along the different months, okay, and the classes that we will have starting in September. So as you know, the competitive process, okay, has different parts, okay. So we have the test or the part number 1 of the test, okay, which has a practical exercise, okay, which is the hardest part for most of you because we never know what is expected from us, okay. Of course, we know that there will be a text, that there will be questions on the test, that there will be some grammar to complete, vocabulary, but we have to be really careful, okay, and updated on the recent matters worthwhile so that we can manage, okay, when developing this practical exercise. Not only update it, but also know well about all the topics, okay, all the different methods, all the different styles, all the different text types, okay. So that will be about the practical exercise, okay, that will be all. Then we have the part B, okay, which is the written topic, right? And we have a set of topics, 69, okay, and we have to consider them, if not all, quite a lot of them, okay, and study, right? Because that will be the part B, right? So our syllabus, okay, for this part will take into account these 69 topics, okay, and we have to consider its study, okay, within the blocks, okay, that I have divided all the topics into. That way, I think it facilitates the learning, the comprehension of all the information, right? If we organize it in different blocks of content, right? So if we move on to the next part, we have part number 2, okay? Oh, sorry. Part number 2, which will consider the syllabus, okay, and the unit learning situation, right? And we will prepare that document, okay, from the beginning, okay? We will start from scratch. We will have different models, right? We will give you the different parts, okay, one by one, so that you can create your own document, right? There are also some things you can add, okay, so that it kind of becomes more innovative than the others, okay? So if you compare your syllabus to, for example, a tree, okay, or the building of a high school, okay, how it is built into the different parts, okay? But that will come later, right? So we have part number 1 and part number 2, okay? And then we also have to consider different things, such as courses, our final mark that we got after we graduated from college, okay? All that, which are called merits, right? Okay, after that we will see the methods, okay, that we follow, okay, and after that the legislation, which is a boring part for most of you, not for me, okay. Right, so the selection process, how it works, we are going to go step by step now. So we have the competitive exam, which we have just seen, and it has 2 eliminatory tests, okay. And then we have this merit phase, and then luckily, after you pass, okay, you will have your training period, okay, which is not a full year, not a full academic year, but part of it, okay? And don't worry, because I have also been a tutor, so I can give you information. I can even help you after you finish your competitive exam, and once you get your result, and if you get the post, okay, that you dream about and we have all dreamt about, I can even help you with the training period, because I also have experience with that, okay? Right, so we have just an overview, okay? But I can give you some more specific information, right? So what you do in this part, in the practical written test, okay, is, well, as its name says, it is written, okay? So the first part will all be written down, okay, on paper. So you have to show this scientific pedagogical competence in the English, okay, in the English subjects. Okay, you don't have any aids or no internet, okay, you just have your brain and your hand with your pen to develop it in full, right? The duration, okay, it it is not clear, okay, but it is around an hour and a half, okay. Inma, do you remember how long that part was? I think it was 1 hour and a half.
1 hour and a half, I think, but I have forgotten. Elena says 1 hour and a half.
1 hour and a half.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, it's the same for primary teachers as well. Yeah, 1 hour and a half. Okay, thank you. And you need to have this 2.5 results out of 10 to pass this part. Okay, not to pass, but just to, yeah, to pass or to be considered, okay, in order to continue, right? Okay, so let's move on to part B, the written topic, which is what you can, if you have been a previous student, okay, working with us, you can start reading, okay, topics in summer because, well, you have more time, you can, dedicate some time as you will have more free time to just read and have a look at the topics, right? So it's really good from you to start doing that. Okay, so part B is written, okay? You have 2 hours, okay? Well, I just said not oral, okay? But if there were the case of some primary teachers, okay, considering to take the test, okay, for the secondary competitive exam, okay, that in that case, teachers will have to explain these topics, but orally, okay, which is kind of difficult as well because you have, you have the topics, you have to pick one, and you have to start just saying it, okay? You have to tell the board the topic from the beginning to the end, okay? And you do not have any preparation whatsoever. So you just have to start talking, okay? Like a parrot, right? So you have to choose one topic. You have 2 hours to write it in full, right? And then, as before, you have to get a minimum of 2.5, okay, to pass, right? The official syllabus, well, it has 69 topics. We always say, okay, let's hope it does not change. Let's hope, okay? Because if it changes, okay, we will have to like be in a rush in September to create all the topics. And we don't even know if there will be a common part for all teachers, okay, on different matters, okay, which are imperative for teachers to know when they work in a high school, okay? So the different bodies, the different coordination departments, the different documents that are developed at school, in high school. So we don't know about that yet, right? So we always keep fingers crossed, okay, and say, okay, let's hope it does not change, or not for this not for the next call, okay, or the next process, right? So the topics, as I said at the beginning, okay, are organized because I did it that way. I also do it with the primary teachers. So it is, let's say, a guarantee of success because you can have some information in common that you can apply or you can use for the different topics, okay? Such as, well, you have the different blocks, okay? But once we start studying them, you will have this classification as well, right? So you can choose, okay, which blocks you are going to focus your attention on first or most, right? And of course, some of you may like some more than others. Okay, that's up to you. That is personal, right? Well, part number 2 is the syllabus and unit. Okay, and I can guarantee that once you pass the first part, the second part is so much different. Okay, and this is where you have to where you have to be different from the rest, where you have to be innovative, where you have to highlight over the rest, okay? We are doing that with the primary teachers right now, and they are, preparing materials which are original, innovative, that are brand new, that the board will be astonished. Okay, so that is what we have to do, right? Because if and also with the practical exam, if you have open questions, okay, because innovation is something that they consider, right? So the didactic program and the teaching unit, that is the oral presentation, okay? The didactic program or syllabus. And well, we will get into much detail as we start, okay? It has a maximum of 60 pages. That is the font that we have to use. There are 12 units that we have to prepare, okay? And it is written and presented entirely in English, okay? And you can do it for the different stages, either secondary or bachillerato or even vocational training, but I highly recommend you to focus on secondary education, which is the mainstream, right? And the teaching unit or the learning situation, you will either have to choose from the ones you have prepared or from the official syllabus, okay? If some of you decide to take the test, and as said before, are already primary teachers with a minimum of 6 years of experience, okay? In this case, you will also have to, when you explain the topic, you have to show the board how you can develop that topic with the students, okay? So you have to show the pedagogical side of the topic that you're going to explain to the board, right? Which is different to what they have to do, right? Okay, so this is your presentation. You can have an index, okay, which will take 1 page long, and you have a maximum of 1 hour to do this oral presentation of your syllabus and your unit, right? And as I said before, you have to be creative, innovative, and the way you introduce and you present it to the board will be what the board will consider, because they do not have much more information from you, right? So they have to decide on your performance, okay? So I don't know if you have seen any TV contests where participants have just 3 minutes to impress the judges, okay? So this is something similar, okay? You have to impress them, right? So the way you talk, the way you present the information, the way you use your voice, your intonation, how you use proxemics, okay, gestures, all that will be taken into account, right? Okay, I have included some scoring, or how this is scored, or marked. Okay, so you have the part A and part B. This is the test number 1. Okay, it will be rated from 0 to 10. Okay, you have to have or obtain a minimum of 2.5 points weight, which will be multiplied by half of a point, 0.5. Okay. And for the second part, okay, you will have a global mark, okay, of from 0 to 10, okay. But from my experience, the presentations are usually highly rated, okay. I have not seen many people get a 0 or 1 out of 10, okay. I have seen some people get a 5 or 6, okay, because they have missed parts and you have to take everything under control, okay? So because they have missed parts, because they have not included all the information, or, you know, all that will take out points from 10 to the final score you get, okay? Well, I'm not going to focus much on this because I'm sure you have either some teaching experience, or you have the academic qualifications, you have a second degree or a master's, or, you know, other merits such as seminars or certificates of languages. Okay, so if you do not have them, it is the time now to start thinking about this all, right? Key legislation, and this is just an introduction, okay? So we have to manage different legislative references, starting from the organic law 3/2020, which is the newest, okay? Decree 82, which establishes the curriculum for this stage, okay, which has been updated by Decree 31, okay, only in some parts. Decree 85, when we deal with the educational inclusion aspects and students, okay. I'm going to focus on these three on the left, okay, because those are really specific, okay, and really important. But we will see some others, okay? The study method and top tips that I recommend, okay? So we have to start a plan, okay? It's a year, okay? So if we can consider summer to just read, if you have just finished your university degree, you can review the topics on literature that you have studied, you can review grammar, okay? So we, as Simon said at the beginning, we are going to do mock tests, mock exams, okay? So that you can place yourselves in the in a real situation, okay? More top tips: write by hand as much as you can, okay? You have to train. You have to train, and you have to get well, you have to increase the speed, okay, at which you write down the information. You have to increase that speed, right? Practice orally, okay. I know that when we are working with the students, we do not get to practice orally, okay, and that is something that we have to do, that we have to train, that we have to control as well, right? Because some of you can either be too slow when speaking, because that's the way we speak to our students, and some of you, as you get nervous, may speak really quickly, so that the board might not either hear you or follow you well, okay? So you have to take into account these two sides, okay? Master the legislation, right? It is essential for your success as teachers, okay? And secure every merit, every course, every certificate that you have, okay? You can also see what you have, what you can get, okay? And study with others. This is something I learned from my last year teachers, the teachers I worked with, my workmates, okay, that they have to study together. If you study with someone, or if you tell someone the topics out loud, if you just speak to someone who is in a similar situation as you are, okay, or any family member, okay, that gives you more tools, okay, that will give you more security, okay, and boost motivation, because you will see that there are people who are also going under stress, under difficulties, let's say, okay? So that is something that can help you as well, right? But I'm sure that you will all experience that, because when we get together in the academy as a group. We can all give each other a hand. We can share good moments, bad moments, okay? And that is something which creates a strong bond and can make you, well, feel strong, right? And finally, there's not much for me to say that you can do this, okay? That you can complete the whole process with consistency, following this method. You have to take a time every day to study. You have to trust yourself, okay? These topics, master them. The written part, you have to master it. Okay, the oral skills, you have to practice. You can sit in front of a mirror and speak. Okay, speak for as long as you want. Okay, secure every point that you can. Okay, from different, I said, certificates and all that. Okay, and good luck. Okay, that's the last thing for me to say, okay, after explaining this whole process. Bueno, por mi parte, pues eso, no mucho más. He explicado pues el proceso que seguimos, las partes, que esto es también, pues como he dicho, ¿no? El sistema que consiste en eso, en un entrenamiento, en una constancia, ¿vale? En una confianza en uno mismo y que nosotros pues eso acompañamos y que con las clases pues veis que se van a crear ahí esos vínculos que nos van a hacer pues eso, mm, sentirnos bien, coger fuerza y de vez en cuando Simón también a mí me da ánimos, a todos nos da ánimos porque, bueno, pues somos un equipo y aquí todos nos necesitamos.
Ok, pues nada, muchísimas gracias por tu maravilloso inglés. Me quedo ahí. Que bueno, nada, pues la baraja está sobre la mesa, ¿vale? Nuestras cartas son estas, nosotros pues vamos a seguir un poco la continuidad. Deja de compartir un segundito.
Sí,
Eh,
sí,
para el tema de las tutoraciones y todo eso, seguiremos con Slack, que será como un poco la plataforma que sigamos, que bueno, pues es amable, es fácil de utilizar y la verdad es que bueno, pues sigue teniendo esa parte de, por un lado, de tener como foros, ¿no? Como canales genéricos para ir metiendo el material o preguntas genéricas, los enlaces a las clases. Y por otro lado, pues hay un canal privado tanto conmigo como con Laura para pues, el tema de tutoraciones o preguntas que podáis tener en cualquier momento. Las clases serán como lo que hemos hecho hoy, son en directo o se quedan grabadas y las podréis, estarán disponibles. Los materiales se colgarán también en Slack, en PDF o como estime la preparadora, como estime Laura. Y ya está, entonces, a ver qué queda aquí. Voy a poner aquí compartir. Aquí. Y nada, un poco por finalizar, la mensualidad normal para la persona que sea nueva en la academia serán 160 al mes, incluye todo, y para las antiguas alumnas 150, ¿vale? Con todo también incluido, todo lo que son materiales nuevos, lo que hay entre las actualizaciones, lo que, bueno, todo lo que se vaya estimando, más luego lo que es el trabajo, que es, pues eso, la corrección de los simulacros, la tutoración de cuando hagáis luego las cosas personales, la revisión de vuestros materiales, etcétera, ¿vale? Para reservar plaza, eh, pues podéis ya pagar la mitad del primer mes de septiembre. De todas maneras, os lo explicaré todo en el correo. Ahora de momento no hay prisa, lo que queríamos es poner sobre la mesa que vamos a preparar, que es Laura es la preparadora, y que vamos a empezar en septiembre. Luego os mandaré este vídeo y en el correo también pues todos los datos para confirmar y todo eso, ¿vale? Las que más o menos lo tengáis claro, pues ya me lo decís, ¿vale? Para que vayamos viendo y calculando. Y las que tengáis dudas, pues bueno, ya pondré una fecha ahí como de confirmación para que también nosotros nos podamos organizar. No sé si tenéis por ahí alguna duda, quien haya venido por ahí, Inma o Elena.
No, la verdad es que yo lo tengo todo claro.
Vale,
Tenía
pues
la
si
duda
está.
de reservar, pero bueno.
Sí, nada, pero bueno, ya te digo que lo pondré también directamente pues normalmente pongo el número de cuenta, no cobramos matrícula, nosotros nunca hemos cobrado matrícula, pero bueno, un poco por poner,
Mm.
en fin, que si realmente estéis interesada, pues hacer el primer pago de la primera mensualidad, de la primera parte del mes, en vez de una matrícula que luego tal, pues directamente eso y luego ya el siguiente pago se hace en septiembre. Nada, buen verano a
Sí,
todas.
el grupo,
A
sí, como
todas.
decimos,
Igualmente.
sigue abierto, se está
Mm,
formando porque hay ya,
sí,
pues eso, interés,
sí,
pero bueno,
sí, hay gente que ya me ha dicho directamente que sí, pero que bueno, que no, hoy no iba a entrar.
que
Vale,
lo
entonces.
comentéis si tenéis algún conocido,
Sí,
porque
claro.
bueno,
Si te interesa, si hay alguien por ahí que le quiere rebotar, yo le mando la información, el vídeo y vamos viendo. Así es que nada, muchas gracias Inma y Elena y sobre todo
esto,
Laura, ¿vale?
a
Por,
vosotros.
por nada, por marcar aquí las pautas de lo siguiente. Muchas gracias a todas.
Muchísimas gracias, Elena.
Gracias.
Ánimo,
Disfruta del
ánimo
verano.
también.
Chao, chao.